What is good indeed? I'll tell you what's good. It's your favorite 3x3 podcast, Word on the Streets, back in full force for the first time in a month. I'm with my boys, with my guys, Boz Rosendahl, Vince Chang. I'm the voice of 3x3, Kyle Montgomery. Got a lot to get to in this episode as usual, but actually this episode isn't usual. We're doing a deep dive on the World Cup. 20 men's teams, 20 women's teams, the best on the planet, the biggest tournament of the season. We're getting into it right now on Word on the Streets. All right, fellas, this edition of the World Cup, the 9th edition, by the way, first edition since 2023, is going down in an all-new location, a 3x3 crazed nation. We heading to Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia, for this year's edition of the World Cup. It goes without saying, I'm excited. I know you guys are excited to have it in this location for the very first time, and to see Mongolia as invested in 3x3 as they have been, had the U23s there last year, and now stepping it up a bit to the biggest event in 3x3. We got picks. We're going to go through the groups, men's and women's, eventually pick some podium finishers, top players to watch, a lot to get into. Boz, you look like you're ready to jump into this. What you got?
Look, first of all, I got on a dress shirt because this one's all business. I'm trying to be like Vince Chang. I don't have a tie. I don't have whatever that vest is called.
Yeah,
A waistcoat?
What's that called in English? A Gillette or a Gillette?
It's called a vest, but in England they call it a waistcoat. I don't know.
All right, well, see, I wish I had one of those. They just don't fit me. I'd have a waist top, but you know. But look, man, I'm happy we're going to Mongolia. I've been there a couple times, and this country to me defines that from the streets to the world stage slogan of FIBA 3x3, and that street to the world stage success story as well. As this is a nation that's a virtual unknown in team sports in general, but in basketball also. They have a local basketball league, of course, but it's a country that's known for horse riding, for wrestling, for mountains, for the Gobi Desert. But they picked up this game at 3x3 in spectacular fashion through success at the Asia Cup, starting way back in 2013, actually, when they won silver on the women's end. Men's actually picked up, in front of their home crowd, a victory in 2017, a gold medal, which lit the country on fire, pretty much. And they kept it rolling from there. They got a lot of investments into the sport. They got pro teams on the men's and the women's side. And they keep, especially the men's, they're always like top 5 in that Asia Cup, and I think that sets the bar for them. So a very cool country to be in. Both teams on the respective pro circuits actually have picked up a win in the past few years too, so I think that's huge. And as you guys both know, the women's team actually made the Olympics in 2020 before any other team sport from that nation. I've been there and hung out with the players, and they are treated like gods. They are just recognized on the street, like free drinks at the bar, anything they need they get. And it's incredible to watch a country rally around this sport we love so much. So credits to Mongolia. Very happy to go, especially with those local heroes like Ulaanbaatar, who won the MVP, I believe, in 2017 when they picked up that win. He's been active in 3x3 since 2013. He was a part of that first ever Asia Cup run that they had. So, look, you can expect a full arena, wild crowds, because I don't know about y'all, but anywhere we go, and look, this is a country that has about 3 million people living in it. Any tournament we go to that has a Mongolian team playing in it, there's fans in the stands somehow. I don't know how, because they are a tiny country population-wise, but there's people from Mongolia everywhere.
Dude, I'm going to say this. Like, it's 2 countries no matter where you are. Mongolia and Serbia. You will find those 2 countries and another country. No, we could be in Antarctica. There's like 7 Mongolians and 4 Serbians ready to watch whatever. The support is real. You gotta love Mongolians.
You know what? Besides the tournament itself, right? I'd like to have an opportunity to go to a country that's kind of a blast from the past, to where they still live life outside of the city of Ulaanbaatar much like they did like 100 years ago. So last year, I got a chance to visit. Shout out to the Bull, Delganyam Davasambu. We went to a traditional Mongolian home called a yurt. This was way outside of the city. They had a stable full of horses. We had some Mongolian gin. We ate some traditional local food. But for me, it was refreshing because it's not like an American city. It's not like any place I've ever been before. So, once we get a little bit of time, I think we get a day between the Masters and the World Cup. So we won't have a lot of time. But in the little time that we do have to kind of explore, I'm looking forward to that nearly as much as I'm looking forward to the tournament.
Let me guess. You were wearing that Midwest cowboy hat or no?
Boz, you hit it on the head. Of course, I'm bringing my cowboy boots and my cowboy hats.
There you go. I like it. All right, look, let's get into who's going to come out of Ulaanbaatar with gold. Let's break it down, the squads, the stars, the sleepers, and all the chaos that we got at the FIBA 3x3 World Cup coming up from Mongolia.
All right, gents, let's go ahead and start getting into our pool breakdowns. And we're minding our manners, all right? Ladies first. I'll get us started with Pool A. Here are the squads in Pool A. China, Poland, Italy, Australia, who medaled at the last edition, and Madagascar. All right, for me, this is a three-team race, fellas. I'm looking at the Kangaroos. They're going to be my favorite. They medaled at the last edition, like I said. I think they got one of the most dominant players in women's 3x3 when she is playing. We haven't seen a lot of her outside of the Asia Cup, but Marina Whittle and Alex Wilson, that dynamic duo, I think is going to be tough for anybody in that group to stop. I think Poland is interesting. Obviously, they haven't announced their roster yet, but I'm expecting Alexandra Ziemborska to be on that squad. I think that she's a major X factor. China's hard to count out because I swear if they bring Jiating Zhang, I gotta move them more towards the front. I don't know if she's gonna play again. Don't know the roster yet. China's in the mix for me. I think on the outside looking in this group is gonna be Italy, who have taken several steps back over the last couple of years since winning the World Cup back in 2018. That's when Ray was in her prime. She's still hooping now, but I'm not sure who they're going to surround her with. And Vince, I know you like Madagascar, but I don't think they're ready for the World Cup level just yet. So that group for me was fairly easy to pick. But I think all three of those teams, especially Australia, have a shot to finish on the podium.
So would you say Italy's kind of a potential upset pick here? Possibly, maybe with Ray.
Possibly.
No, sorry. Ray. Right, don't be mad at me, Ray. Much love, No, I don't see it. But again, I usually defer to you, Boz, when it comes to the women's competition because I don't get to cover many women's series or anything like that. I do see some of the highlights on social media. I try to keep up with it, but in terms of the players and how they're going to construct the roster, a lot of that's still gray area right now. So. The teams that I do know that I'm more familiar with, those are the squads I went with.
All right, let me take over then because I have Pool B. That's a pool with, and this might be the pool of death, honestly. The Netherlands, United States of America, Czechia, Japan, and Chile. So, look, I know you guys are going to say something about this, but I think the Netherlands is just going to run the pool. Come on, bro.
That's a shock, Boz. What?
It is.
You're really?
Boz,
I would never guess that. You don't like lions. You like bears.
There's no way.
No.
You're going to pick.
Check out the shirt. That's all I'm saying. Check out the shirt. No, but really though, like their results this year on the competition where national teams also perform in the women's end. The women's series are spectacular. 4 events played, 4 finals had, 3 titles as a result. I think they are the best team in that pool. I think USA is interesting though. USA has a very young squad. They have a heap of talent on the team. Sarah Strong led the UConn ladies to a NCAA championship. Michaela and Sarah Williams are both very tough, but they're a very young squad. They got Meili as a 23-year-old headlining the team. All the other ladies are 20. They've won several under 18 World Cups in 3x3. This is kind of their second, go at it in the seniors in this year's tournaments, right? So I'm curious to see what they can do. To me, the most intriguing matchup is USA Japan, because that USA team does not shoot a lot of twos, and I'm very curious to see how they're going to handle Japan's speed, because Japan plays in like 8th or 9th gear.
And
they
speed,
just go.
Yeah.
And speed kills, right? And
Yes.
they're young, and that Japanese team is young too.
Look, I can see if this roster is what they play with, right? Because right now Takahashi is on the squad. I could see her go for average like 12 to 13 points. That could be a thing. Look, I still think there's some upset potential here though with Czechia. They have Katarina Galichkova, which I've been calling the Catherine gun, and she can really shoot it, man.
Yeah.
Look, Kyle, we're using that at the World Cup.
I like that. Yeah.
But so if Galichkova is good, I think Czechia could upset. But look, I'm curious to see, outside of the Netherlands, of course, what Sarah Strong can do. She is a beast on defense, and if the USA is smart, they feature her a lot on offense. So I'm curious to see what she can do in this pool.
All right. I mean, I'm excited. I mean, it looks good. Got a lot of talent. I guess I'm next because I'm gonna do Pool C, and this pool is actually between two teams. I'm sorry, just between two teams. In this squad, we got France, Canada, Hungary, Austria, and Latvia. Now, from history, I'm always rooting for Hungary. All right, I'm a pop fan, but they always fall short. They just fall short. Great assists, great chemistry, but they can't do it. France, since 2018, they've always been on the podium. Either third or second, have won gold as well. Whole new squad, though. I mean, the only person I see is Miss Hortis Limazon, but other than that, Manet's pretty dope, and these two other French players are going to be some ballers. But it's Canada, minus the Plouffe sisters. However, I'm going to say this on the pod because I've been getting messages from the women from the north. It's not Saisha, it's Saisha Grant, okay? Saisha Allen Grant.
All right.
Because we've been saying her name wrong for a while, and they've been dogging me. Saisha Grant, Stacey Grant Allen. I say Allen Grant. Saisha Grant Allen. That's going to be a key factor. Casey Bosch always that, but we always don't know what the lineup is going to be. I think Canada's going to take it. I don't know this French team is going to be strong enough to take out the size and the body that's going to be down low with Cassandra Brown also, because, you know, she can work her a little bit around. We got the shooter if Paige really goes. But my upset would be Hungary. Now, we still got Latvia and Austria. I haven't seen a lot what they can do. I don't think they can mess with the talent from these top three teams. But again, it's 3x3. We never know.
Yeah.
Watch Latvia now.
Okay.
And I'm not saying they're going to go crazy, but they have picked up, they've picked up some nice wins here. They qualified to the World Cup through the World Cup qualifier and actually won a women's series tournament. So the women's pro circuit after.
I think they even qualified to the Europe Cup recently too at one of the Europe Cup qualifiers.
They may or may not have just fallen short.
Yeah. Maybe so. I could be wrong. All right, I'll jump in and head into Pool D, fellas, if you don't mind. This group features Spain, Germany, Mongolia, Ukraine, and Brazil. Okay, and I think that 2 medalists reside in this group, and I can tell you who those medalists won't be: Brazil, Ukraine, or Mongolia. Did you get the other 2? Spain and Germany. Olympic gold and silver medals. To me, this is the easiest group to decide when you're talking about the balance of power in a group. Spain are the creme de la creme, along with Germany. Only question with Germany is Sonny G going to play or not? They haven't announced the roster. To me, that makes all the difference in the world. I hold Sonny G in such a high regard. I think that when she's playing the game, I don't know if there's an individual player more rounded than Sonia Greiner is. I mean, if y'all know one, please let me know. But for me, she's tops the way she performed at the Olympics. If she's going to play on this roster, so with that big question mark, I'm pretty certain who Spain is going to field in this tournament. So they would be the team that I'll pick to win the group, but the top 2 for sure. and obviously the game of the group is going to be when Spain and Germany clash. If I'm looking for a dark horse, can I throw Mongolia in there?
Of course.
Yes.
Can I throw Mongolia in there?
Yes.
There just might be something about some home cooking. There just might be something about sleeping in your own bed, about playing in front of those rabid Mongolian fans. Maybe this is the year that we see them take the next step. Ulaanbaatar is another player I hold in very, very high regard. And she's become a leader. She's the face of Mongolian 3x3 as it relates to women's, from the women's game. So I'm going to give them a dark horse nod. Brazil have performed well at the AmeriCup.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still not willing to invest in them yet. Not yet. And for me, Ukraine it's a long shot. It's a long shot. Don't be mad at me, Ukraine. Please don't. These are just my picks, okay? Boz, does that make sense to you? Do those picks make sense?
They do and they don't, in the sense that
Oh, okay.
no, look. Again, it's all down to who the teams are fielding, right? As it stands on the website right now, Germany's playing with a very young team. If that's the case, I think Brazil might come in second. Because they are big, they're physical, they've been battle tested, they've qualified at the World Cup qualifier, did not lose a single game. So if Germany is fielding the team that is on the website as of today, and we are a week out from the World Cup, then I think Germany might be coming in third, maybe fourth even. We'll see though. Look, they have Elisa Mavias listed. That's the one bright spot, I think, and not to get down on the other ladies that they listed, but they're very young. They're not proven at this level yet. So
Mavias was incredible at the Olympics.
Exactly. But and again, it's going to come down to roster to me. I think Brazil is going to make it tough on some teams, and I think Ukraine might as well. But I think if there's a dark horse, outside of Mongolia, of course, I'd say Brazil might take a spot out of this group.
I mean, I have to say that too. When I watch them up close and personal with Brazil, they always got dogs. They always got some dog. They got some bodies that can definitely move some people around and score down low. But I just want to give Ulaanbaatar some more credit, because usually they say, hey, do you got some milk? They got that mare milk out there. I think it's called air rag, and they're going to be drinking that right before the game. There's going to be some extra strength in every shot. So.
I'll skip on that milk if you're good with that. I'll skip on that milk.
You don't want it? You want to try it?
I have tried it.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, I haven't. So.
Well, we'll get you some. All
right. Should we swing it over to the men's competition?
We should.
All right. Who's got group A? Is that me again?
I got group A. I got Poule A. And
Vince got A.
It's a doozy. It don't even matter the lineup. It's a doozy. Look, everybody, this word on the streets. Replace the E's with threes, and baby, Serbia, Germany, Belgium, Australia, Madagascar. Okay? Now, we're not going to really talk about what's been going on with the World Tour, but I do have to mention this, Boz. There's going to be a lot of rematches right here. There's vengeance in this pool. Serbia, we know, is the team to beat, okay? Number one, they've been rocking out, still got a strong team. Germany gets a rematch because it's the same roster, if I'm not mistaken, from basketball that may be finalized, and they just lost in the last Masters. Australia gets a rematch from the Champions Cup. You know they're hungry for it, all right? Belgium, I don't know what to say. They've been letting me down left and right. Belgium, I wish you had some kind of special chocolate, but you don't got it. I think you've been taking the special chocolates from Amsterdam, because that's what's been going on.
Are you saying they've been playing like they high? Is that what I'm getting from you? What's the special chocolate from Amsterdam?
They need some enhancements. Need some Willy Wonka special chocolate.
Okay.
And now Madagascar, I always love watching them. They always find a way to make the game entertaining. I don't know if they're going to take it all the way. But in this pool, the dark horse I can only say would be Madagascar. Because Belgium, we'll start from the bottom, has the talent. They've just not been producing. Australia, young, strong, finalizing that roster is going to be hard, but we already know what kind of talent Australia has. Germany, you got your golden boy. He's not missing this at all. And his other backup, it's like in sync. Every one of them can do a solo. They can definitely ball out.
Denzel Ajiman.
Oh, Denzel Ajiman. I mean, this guy's like training day, okay? King Kong ain't got nothing on him.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And then, sir, I mean, they're prepared for this. They literally wake up for the World Cup. So this is a pool I would watch. I know there is going to be a medal somewhere or two in this pool for sure, and I'm calling that right now.
Wow, two. Wow. I can see one, but two.
Two is
I don't feel strongly about any team in that group except for Serbia. And for all the reasons that you mentioned about Belgium, for all the reasons you mentioned about them, Germany, yeah. Do we believe in them fully after that Masters run?
They did work.
Have they done enough? Okay, but that's for me. Australia, interesting. Still very new, talented. Played well at the Champions Cup this year. If they field that same roster, okay. Madagascar, also sneakily talented. They got ISO killers on that team.
Yes.
Again, if they return a familiar roster. So, because of all those question marks, for me, the only constant that I know is got to be Serbia. So, it's Serbia and then the hodgepodge of the rest for me.
It's an interesting hodgepodge, but I'll second that.
Yeah.
You're up for Pool B, Cal.
I'm good. Okay, all right. Let's see, Pool B. Pool B, let's see. Oh, USA. Okay, Latvia, Mongolia, Japan, and Montenegro. For me, this is what y'all keep giving me the easy groups, the layup groups. This is a two-horse race in this group. What are we talking about? It's USA, it's Latvia. Montenegro hasn't proven nearly enough. They're to me, they're beyond a dark horse. Japan, is Rio Ozawa going to score 20 in a game again? He's going to need to every single game if they're going to be competitive in this group. And Mongolia. Here's my question with Mongolia, right? Again, we have to keep circling back on the rosters not being finalized, but there's also an Ulaanbaatar Masters happening that week, a women's series, I believe a Nations League as well. So on that Ulaanbaatar roster that's listed on the website to this day, they got all the heavy hitters. They got 3 of the 4 heavy hitters on that Ulaanbaatar roster. Are they going to play in the Masters and then less than 48 hours later play in the World Cup? Would not be suicidal?
Hey, Belgium has the same issue.
Belgium, with Riffa playing in the
Even
Ulaanbaatar
Germany
Masters.
too. Germany think has the same
and
issue
Germany
as well.
too with Basket Bond. So for me, that leaves a gray cloud over who they're going to play with. It's hard for me to make an assessment on what they may or may not do because I just don't know what the heck their roster is going to look like for the World Cup. But if I was guessing, I would say that they're going to field their best roster for the World Cup. They're probably going to go with their B team. Maybe one player plays the Masters and the World Cup, but they'll put their best foot forward, when it comes to the World Cup. But
Kyle,
it's Latvia and USA. I mean, what?
Thing is, go ahead.
No, that's all I'm just saying. Hoopers wake up for this. I mean, what is that a dream for you to play?
That hurts, Vince.
Vince, it is a 7-day competition. Do you know that? It is a 7-day competition. It is a week long. We have never in the history of 3x3 had an event this long, let alone a Masters coupled with a World Cup like this. So we've never seen players' bodies tested in the way that we're about to see in Mongolia. So
makes it exciting.
To add 2 points here, I think the Masters might serve one good purpose, and that is the fact that they get all the home crowd's attention out of the way at first, right? Stepping into a World Cup on your home turf is a different beast. I have not had the fortune of playing a World Cup in the Netherlands. I have had the fortune of playing in the Europe Cup, and I've mentioned on this podcast before that was a very tough tournament for me because everybody around the venue wanted something from us as players, as a team.
That's true.
So they're going to have that twice. I think the Masters will get some of that out of the way. But to go back on what you said, Kyle, you said they're going to field the best squad. In my humble opinion, that would be Ulaanbaatar, Enkbat, Davasambu, and the Archer. All of those players are on Team Ulaanbaatar. So 2 of them have to play the Masters. They can't sub out. They have 6 players on the roster, but that's pro circuit stuff. But anyways, 2 players are going to play both tournaments, which is going to be tough. We'll see. Well, let me take over for Pool C because I think that's a very interesting pool as well. Pool C features France, Austria, China, Puerto Rico, and Canada.
Look at Vince.
Yeah, that's a good one, huh? Based on recent results, I'd say Austria and France are kind of head-to-head there, and I'd maybe give it to Austria now based on the last few performances I've seen out of them. But it's between them 2. And going back on national team stuff, France with the Olympic silver has to be considered the top dog in the pool. They did come in 6th at the Europe Cup, which is the tournament that Austria won last year. So it'll be huge, right? Though the matchup between those 2 teams will determine first in pool, I believe. But there is a huge upset potential in this pool with Puerto Rico. Antonio Ralat. Lotto can put the team on his back, and he could win all 4 games in the pool they play. Right?
Yeah.
This team, what I've seen from them this year, this team could really score. They have now some defensive pieces added. I think if Antonio Ralat catches fire, this pool better watch out. They might run the table. And another X Factor team here is China.
Yeah.
China this year. And their players, the Chinese roster this year, has picked up some steam. They've played better. They've actually played with some ownership. We've seen some dog. We've seen some fight. We've seen some players show emotions, which is what we had not seen in the years prior. And look, again, roster's not finalized yet, but I think China could upset 1 or 2 of these teams. So this pool could be a big mess come the end of pool play in the World Cup, and I'm curious.
Vince, I got to tell you, Boz must have stolen my notes.
Why?
Because that is nearly exactly what I said. I got to bring the camera down. Let me see if I can bring it down. Bring it in. Read that. That's exactly what. Boz is brilliant. Boz, you're brilliant.
Boz is the man.
He is the man. That was spot on. I can't even debate with you. I agree with you 100% on your assessment of Pool C. I guess I got Group D then, right?
Yes, you do.
All right, Group D. Y'all ready for this? Netherlands. I think we know who Boz is picking. Anyway, Lithuania, Spain, Switzerland, Great Britain. For me, this is the group of death. This, to me, is the group of death because we know what Netherlands can do, the talented roster that they will likely field that will probably resemble Team Amsterdam. Lithuania is going to come in hungry. They won't have Šarūnas Vangelis one way or the other, unfortunately, injured his ACL at the Europe Cup qualifier. So they're going to have a new piece in there one way or the other. But for me, the only piece that matters, not the only piece, but the main piece that matters is Aurelius Pukelis. And there's no way in hell he ain't gonna be on that roster.
So wait, can I interject here?
Yes.
You remember they came in 3rd at the Europe Cup last year with 2 young guys, Chelka and Janisevicius. I think they might bring that.
Ooh.
Yes.
That proves my point even further. Listen, Lithuania to me are going to be on the podium one way or the other. Spain, we've talked about how Spanish 3x3 has continued to incrementally take steps. We saw at the most recent World Tour, Team Barcelona, that talent came together. They opened a lot of eyes. Boz has been high on them for a while now. I got to give you props, Boz. Spain is going to be a player in that group. Switzerland, no, that to me, they're on the outside looking in. Great Britain. Roster's not announced yet, but I got a sneaky suspicion that Big Ash Hamilton, a.k.a. Megatron, will be there. Not only that, a healthy Evan Walsh. He's recovering from a finger injury. He missed some time this year. He's a dynamic guard. Listen, between Great Britain, Spain, Lithuania, and the Netherlands, for me, this is the group of death. If it weren't this group, it would have been Boz's group, Pool C. But that's my assessment of the group.
Hey.
I can't wait to see Lithuania and the Netherlands go at it. I'm curious to see how Spain matches up against both of those top dogs and Great Britain. So Great Britain and Spain to me are kind of, equal in terms of, kind of being question marks. And the two proven teams, I think, lead the group.
Big dog. I just want to say one thing.
What?
Again, we got to keep repeating to the crowd that we don't know if the rosters are solidified. Mr. Megatron has been absolutely what?
He's a machine, bro.
Decepticon.
He's a machine,
terrorized.
fam.
This
Yes.
man's been terrorized. If y'all know about Autobots and Decepticons and Beast Wars, this man's been doing work. And Explosito being absolutely explosive. If he's gonna, those are the two people I'm watching throughout this entire pool, and I would not be surprised. If we see red, white, and blue from overseas get a little farther in that. I'm just saying. I think that the cup of tea and the waistcoats maybe go at least
cup
to
of
quarterfinal.
tea.
Cup of tea. I would see them going to the quarterfinal. I could see that. But I'm just saying, I'm excited for that pool as well.
The combination of power and touch that Ashley Hamilton has is incredible. We should start calling the man Bam Bam because he either bangs down low and dunks or shoots a two. There's nothing in between.
I was calling him Bash Hamilton.
Bash
Oh, there you go.
Hamilton.
There you go.
Hamilton.
I
Bash
like that.
Hamilton smash Megatron. But so for me, I don't know if y'all would argue with me. This has got to be you agree, right? This is the pool of death, right?
I would even throw Switzerland in the mix depending on their roster, to be honest with you. Yeah, they were good at the Europe Cup qualifiers. The roster they have listed now is last year's team Fribourg, so they actually have a lot of chemistry. And in that team, Jonathan Dubas was really unlocked. And he was, they won a couple of challengers early in the season. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I look, Switzerland, I wouldn't even count them out. So yeah, I agree.
Okay, good. Well, I think we took care of all the group assessments. Now I guess we get into some individual stuff.
Oh, yes, we do. We're going to pick a gold medal favorite each. We're going to pick a dark horse that could get the gold. And we're going to pick a fraud. A team we don't trust. A team we think is not going to do well.
Okay.
Based on whatever you want to base that on.
Okay.
And a team that people may be high on that we don't think is gonna deliver all that much.
Okay, so why don't we start making our way back from Frog? Why don't we start with the negative and make our way to the ultimate positive, and then pick a gold medal winner? So, Vince, who would be your Frog?
My frog?
In both the men's and women, who would be your Kermit?
Okay, I'll do the women's first.
Competition?
Let's do the women's first. My frog. And they're going to hate me. I know they are. It's USA.
Uh-oh.
What?
Oh, you can't come back. You just got your passport revoked.
Huh? What?
Oh,
no, the
man.
only reason why is that I need to say, and again, it's hard to say it because, and it's in my notes, depending on the roster.
Well, Vince, we didn't even hear what you said. Could you say it again? Which team was that? I didn't hear you. We didn't quite hear you.
I said Austria. But depending on the roster, if the USA just brings brand new players to this squad, they're going to get a rude awakening on how fast-paced this game is, and especially at the World Cup stage. Mongolians know how to cheer for any squad, but that's going to be an electric environment. Are they prepared? Now, great coaching from the USA camp, but there's a lot of talent, and I just don't want them to let me down, okay? That's one thing. Again, they're going to come out strong, but that's my personal opinion, okay? Now, are we going for the men's? We're going back and forth, or we're just going to go for each other?
Let's do the women's first.
Let's keep the women's going. Boss, I can go if you want. Just let me off the leash.
I'm sharpening my blade here. Go ahead.
All right, you sharpen your blade, and guess what, Vince? I'm going to stay in North America. I'm gonna stay in North America, and I'm gonna go with Canada.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord.
go to Edmonton. You can't go to Edmonton. Nope.
I'm sorry, but for me, without the Plouffe sisters,
we don't know. We don't know.
hey, we don't know. Okay, but considering the fact that they might not have the Plouffe sisters, I like Sasha Grant Allen. Love her game. She dominated at the America. You know I love Paige Crozen. You know I love Casey Bosch. These to me, they're going to be future Hall of Famers, right?
Yeah.
But I think that they're going to disappoint at this year's edition of the World Cup. I think when you lose the talent of even one of the Plouffe sisters, it completely changes the dynamic of the team.
Yeah.
And if they so happen to not have either of them, no, they go from a favorite to a frog. I'm sorry, that's my frog.
Rabbit.
Isn't it? And I'm not trying to rub salt in the wounds here. Outside of 2022 in Belgium, isn't Canada underperforming at the World Cup kind of like the one thing you can count on?
Ooh, Bosch just took it. He said he wasn't going to throw salt in the wound, and he just
no. But like, look
he dumped
again.
Lowry's
This is
in there.
No, look,
he got
this
some
is a
kosher
team.
salt in there.
Almost every edition of the last few World Cups, making a tier list in advance. I always had the Canadian ladies up there for a gold medal. They have not picked up a gold medal yet. So to me, that's disappointing. This is one of the best women's teams ever.
Yeah.
Like if we 5 years from now, we look back at this era at 3x3, there's probably two teams we're going to name, and it's France and Canada. And maybe Spain.
Sure.
But Spain is on the outside looking in, for sure. It was France and Canada, and of which I think Canada has been the most dominant squad.
Yeah.
And they have not picked up anything but a silver medal in 2022 in Antwerp. That's it.
Yep.
So, I don't know. And
So
look,
are you piggybacking? You piggybacking with me?
I'm not. Look, I told you I'm sharpening my blades. To me, the team that's going to underperform is your number one seed, China.
Oh.
I don't think China's going to do well at all.
Whoa.
No. Boz is only saying that based off the seeding because they're seeded number one. Am I right? Or you?
Yeah, no, they're seeded number one. They're coming in. They're coming in with the number one seed.
Okay, explain this, please go.
All right, look, we're going by what they've listed now, right? And I don't think they can change more than 2 spots.
Okay.
The squad they've been rolling with this year in several tournaments has underperformed. The core of that squad to me is just They have not. It's shown a lot of chemistry. They have not had results on the women's series. They had a decent run at the Asia Cup, but nothing you could really, I'm saying, like that level of competition in the Asia Cup usually isn't as high as you would say in the women's series or World Cup or something else. I've not liked this core together. I've not seen a lot of positive action from them. They have a lot of size, but they've been stuck in playing really big squads for a few years now, and it has not worked out for China in a few years now. Taking a look back at the Olympics and some other tournaments, playing huge in 3x3 and playing without a lot of fluidity, that was good in the 2010s. Maybe early 2020s it still worked. For now, though, the game's gotten so much more dynamic. There's so much more talent in the game. There's more action. So if you bring size like Sasha Grant Allen, size that could move, size that could, stick with defenders. They bring a lot of 6'5" bigs that are just plowing through the paint, just kind of hanging out there, not really moving their feet. So I don't think that fits in today's game of 3x3 anymore. And we'll see if I'm wrong, but my guess is they're not going to perform that well.
Okay. I mean, I that's a lot of statistics. I was going by roster because last time we saw you were saying, look at that Tim Brink, they had Burdick, they had Van Lith, they had Harper. I'm just going by that. But China always has that camp that they could definitely get some moves going on the court. But you're the master of the women's series, so I'm gonna listen to you on that one.
Yeah, I defer to Boz on that too. I think they'll compete. Obviously we don't know what the roster is, but traditionally they're always in the mix. So just for that fact, I won't count them out. But they could. I might consider them to be an underdog. I don't know. I have to think about that. That is the next segment we're transitioning into, isn't it?
Are we not doing the men's frogs?
Oh, yeah.
The men's frogs. That's right. My bad, boss. You're right. I'm right. All right. I think it's time we head into the men's frogs now, taking care of the ladies. So now let's dump on some men's teams. All right. I'll get us started. Boz won't like this one. And I know they watch the podcast, and I don't care. The men's frog for me, I do not think they're overrated. I think that they have high variance, as Boz likes to say. When they play well, they can beat anybody. They've proven it. They're Olympic gold medalists. They're World Tour final champions. But I do think they have some vulnerabilities. I do like their roster, but I do think that there is some upset potential with the Netherlands. I bet y'all didn't see that coming, right?
I did not.
So this is one of the best teams. One of the teams that most expect to finish on the podium. Even I wouldn't doubt them for the podium. But because of that variance, when they play really well, they're on top of the world. But when they play poorly, they fall off a cliff. And for that, unfortunately, I'm picking the Netherlands as my potential frog.
I can see where you're coming from, especially with them adding Di Maio to the roster, because their roster is finalized. And they've been playing at a very high pace on the pro circuit this year with a smaller roster. Now they have to adjust to more size. So yeah, okay. I'm not mad at it. Let me get you the easiest layup of this whole podcast.
Okay.
My frog on the men's end is Belgium.
Oh,
they have underperformed spectacularly this year.
Doesn't the frog have to have expectations?
Belgium always has expectations. They have a couple of the players that we consider the best in the game.
Okay, that's true. Okay. Point taken.
And they have underperformed spectacularly this year. And they have not hit the side of a barn shooting twos.
Another high variance team, though, right, Boz?
Very, very high variance. But it feels to me in recent tournaments where I've seen them, especially on the pro circuit, that they've kind of left behind some of that movement style offense that we are so used to from them. So they've incorporated more ball screens, less off ball screens. They have not moved as well, and they have just shot the two very poorly this year, extremely poorly. I look, this is going back to the pro circuit again, so I'm not going to dive into the stats, but they have not performed well on the Europe Cup qualifier where they didn't qualify, and I think they're riding a low right now. So as far as momentum, look, the World Cup's always a different beast. If you play good on day one, you might run through the field. If this team is going to start missing shots, they're in trouble. And then to add to that, we haven't even mentioned this. Ulaanbaatar is a mile-high city. So we're playing at altitude.
Different altitude. True.
If they do want to try to get back to that movement style system, it works less well out there because you get tired faster than other teams for running all that offense, right? So if they incorporate a lot of movement, if they set a lot of screens, if they do a lot of the dribble handoff stuff we've seen them do in the past, I don't think it's going to work all that well in Ulaanbaatar. We'll see, but I think Belgium's going to underperform, so they're my frog.
I mean, I don't know why you're passing it to me. Have you seen Harry Potter? Literally, there's a chocolate frog in the movie, okay? That's Belgium. I said that in the beginning of the pod. Like, it's literally you think it's delicious, it's going to hop away. We were talking about this off-screen, Boz, and saying who was the top performer on this Belgian squad. And again, we're going back and forth between the World Tour. And we have so much faith in Mr. Menace, but he's not even being the top man on that squad, which it's concerning. So for that to be a factor for this Belgian squad, it just doesn't look right. However, as Kyle just said, the frog does have hope. Don't forget, every frog has a chance to become a prince if he gets the right kiss. So we'll see if the kiss is going to be around this World Cup. But I'm going to go with Boz. Belgium is my froggy.
Okay. I tend to agree with both. I think mine is probably the most controversial. I know I'm going to hear plenty about it once I touch down in Mongolia.
It is.
But it's all love. Okay, so from frogs to underdogs. I guess we can go back over to the women's competition for this one.
Yes.
Boz, you want to start us off with underdog?
Yes. If we're basing this on ranking, I don't know if this is a good underdog, but look, they are ranked almost last in the tournament, and they are a very talented team. I think Australia could go all the way. I think they've gotten close in the past, and I think now with Mila Goodchild or Soa as she's changed her last name, I believe. I think if this is a squad that if they get rolling, they are very, very good. Look, would you consider Australia a dark horse?
No, I would consider Australia a favorite.
Yeah, okay. I'm with
that. Yeah. That makes me have to pick a different team now.
I would.
Keep your team.
I would certainly consider them to be one of the favorites.
All right.
While you work on your other underdog, you get a bonus underdogs, boss. That's all right.
Love it.
My underdog is I'm going to go with a team that Boz mentioned earlier. Number one, I think they got an incredible coach who is a world champion. Her name is Michaela Urova, who played for Czechia back in 2016 when they won it all, and she's managed to put this squad together. She's got the right components. The chemistry seems to work with the four that I've seen most consistently. Again, roster hasn't been finalized, but with Galichkova, who is certain to be on that roster, I think she's an absolute star. One of the most dynamic shooters in the women's game. And I think also I've been impressed when I saw them. I saw them playing at the Europe Cup qualifiers in Slovakia.
Yeah.
And the defensive intensity that they play with, it jumped off the page to me. I said, they get after you, they get you uncomfortable, and they have the offensive talent, even outside of Galichkova, to beat a lot of teams. It was between Czechia and Poland, but on second thought, I think they might make a little bit more noise than people anticipate. So they got my underdog tab.
Okay. My underdog, I don't think you guys will expect this one at all. And they speak Portuguese, so obrigado. I think it's going to be Brazil. By going from the AmeriCups that I've been watching, because think about the talent they play over here on the other side of the world. They'll play against USA, which usually they got some dogs, which were former WNBA players or WNBA players on the squad. Canada, when they got the Blue Sisters and the talent there. Puerto Rico, because they can actually ball out. We see other squads from around the world. I think they still have a shot using their strength. They just got to be smart. They can't be too emotional. I think that's going to be my underdog on my side for the women's.
All right. Well.
And they've always been on the podium in America. Ever since America's been starting about 2021, they're always on the podium. Now, they don't get the gold, but they get the silver or the bronze. So, hey, I got receipts. I think they can do some work.
Okay. Let me get you my dark horse. It's a real one this time. A real one this time.
We give him the light horse? The dark horse.
Yeah. Look. I couldn't pick Australia, so I'll go with a team that came in second in the Asia Cup, Japan.
Okay.
They are a stylistic nightmare for other teams. It is a squad that plays at such, and I've mentioned this already, but they play at such a high pace. They play such a different style of 3x3 basketball, so they can make it very, very tough on other teams. This is if the 2-point shot is falling.
Yeah.
But they have shooters on this squad as currently rostered on the website. They always bring shooters, by the way, so they might have a new can of players they open up, and there's always these two-handed 45-degree angle shooters that get these twos to go down. So, again, I think Japan, if a country you wouldn't think of at the start of this tournament made a run to a medal, then it would be Japan, although, Vince, I like your pick. It might be my bold prediction for later on.
Oh, really? You like my pick? See?
Yes. Okay.
He's an expert. He's an expert. I trust him.
All right. Men's
dark horse / underdog. Vince, you want to start us? Go ahead.
Got
you
mine.
look like you're chomping at the bit. Go ahead.
Mine.
Go ahead.
Because you know what? This is going to be a little wild. But in Ralat we trust. I think it's Puerto Rico. In Ralat, if he's on that squad. It's in my notes right now when I was preparing for this. They always have the components of a championship team, but they always fall short by an inch, a two, or just one play. If they can keep their composure, and as modest dancing they do down in Puerto Rico when me and you, Kyle, were down there, all that, yo, they probably got the stamina for 7 days, okay? They're going to have that. No, they're going to have the mongo. They're going to have the mofongo, okay? They're going to okay? They're going to have that plantain. They're going to have that in bags, getting ready. I think from how they work out, and it's been promoted so much. Shout out to the Puerto Rican 3x3 squad, the Federation. Definitely giving more support to these, little monsters that's down there, Flasco, everything. I think that's going to be the dark horse because I think they'll have the preparation to last this long in the tournament because both of you have been really adamant about it. This is a 7-day just gauntlet of talent and bangers. If they can hold out just on stamina alone, being from that beautiful island, that's my dark horse that may get to that podium and show some people that Puerto Ricans know how to ball, not just play baseball.
Okay, so Vince, you're saying because beans are a big part of Puerto Rican cuisine that they're going to be all gas, no brakes?
I never said the beans.
You're saying they're going to be all gas, no brakes?
Don't put the habichuelas in this,
no,
okay?
You talking about mofongos. You talking about mofongos.
Mofongo is plantain. Get your distance
and plantains. But beans are also a big part of the cuisine. All gas, no brakes. That's
habichuelas. What I'm talking about.
How did we get into a bean discussion here?
Listen, it's late here. No, Vince, you stole my dark horse. Now I got to pick another one. But luckily, I did have one in reserve. And they happen to have, in my opinion, the most dominant individual player in the game right now. And he's only 20 years old. And he can single-handedly wreck a game by himself. Can single-handedly wreck a game. They've surrounded with more talent this year. I have a good idea what the roster might be, just waiting for it to be finalized. We've seen what they've done recently on the Pro Tour. We're staying away from the Pro Tour, but we got to use that as an example and kind of a springboard of what to expect from Germany here in this World Cup. I think that they're riding high right now. They're young, they're an emotional team, but they're starting to figure it out. The more experience that they've gotten, obviously the better they've gotten. And we've seen the results improve year after year. Are they ready to take a step to the podium? I'm not going to go so far to say that yet, but I will say I will not be shocked. I would not be shocked if they did. I think they're set for a deep run. I think other people are looking at them as an interesting team. I'm looking at them as a team that is a scary team with Fabian Giesman, the centerpiece. That is my dark horse underdog in the men's competition.
Okay, I'll take that. That was an easy pick. Good thing I'm here to save the day. My dark horse on the men's side. Look, I debated. I thought about Montenegro for a little bit there, but I couldn't do it.
Look at Vince's face. Me and Vince both.
Vince don't even know where Montenegro is.
No. I love the flag, but no.
Boz, you got to explain this one,
please.
What?
I know one player on there.
No, I said I thought about Montenegro and I couldn't do it.
Oh, okay.
Milos is going to take him all the way if he's on the squad. I was like, okay, hey, you got confident.
I was worried. I was worried for a second. All right.
No. Look, I can't put my name to that. But if a team could surprise, it'd be China to me. Look, I don't think we expect much of China. Again, they've competed, but they haven't kind of pushed through at this level. We all have the Olympics last year fresh in our memory, where they just couldn't really win any games besides the one they won against Serbia.
Oh, that's true.
But again, I've seen a different attitude from their players this year, and they have the talent and they have the shooting ability, and I think that is going to carry them, right? If they have these guys go off for a lot of twos, shoot them at a high clip like they've been doing on the pro circuit, 40+%, 45+% from range. If they can get that combined with, again, currently constructed Han Yu-Guo's driving, and I think he's the most emotional guy out of all of them, I think they can at least scare some teams and surprise some teams. I'm not going to say they get a medal, but look.
So for this one, boss, Australia would have been a proper pick in the men's competition as maybe an underdog. Y'all don't believe in Alex Higgins?
I don't think Australia's an underdog. I don't think so. I really don't.
Oh,
I really don't.
Yeah, no, they're certainly an underdog. Certainly an underdog.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
They're an underdog. And I thought about Australia too, but I figured one of you guys would pick them, so I didn't.
I don't think so. Well, you don't think China's going to go for goal? No? All right, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to sit down now. I'm going to sit down. I have to do it. So.
Yeah, we're going to put you in timeout.
That's one.
Put you in timeout.
That's one.
Put you in timeout.
All right, but look, this one's for all the marbles, and I told you it was straight business, so I need you guys to pick a winner here.
Okay.
Who's going to win gold? Women's first.
Okay.
You up first, Rook.
I'm up first.
Look at him scanning, looking. Oh, come on. This should have been marinating.
You can see that dome piece working.
I'm telling you, man.
Because
this
is just weird. It's weird.
Come on, Vince. You ain't got to rub on the crystal ball.
Them.
Just rub on your head.
I'm going to pick them. But remember what we said. Our frog, all right? We were like, it could be a fraud alert, right? But also, I see what they can do on the World Cup stage. As much as I said they're my frog, got USA gold. I still got USA gold.
Oh, my God.
What are you doing?
I'm going to say.
You're talking about hedging your bets. How you going to pick USA as your frog and then your gold medal winner? You know what? You're disqualified, bro. Listen.
Okay. No, on some real stuff. If it's one player, I think my gold medalist will be the reigning champs of the Olympics. It would be Germany. I think it's Germany. If Sonia Graneker is there, Germany is going to wash the floor because what's going to be against them? I don't got the Poule sisters if they don't come. As I said, USA may have a whole new squad. You're talking about, again, Nordriesen. Again, she's been doing great, but she can literally not compete with Sunny G. So I'm going with Germany. If they change that squad, I'll say Germany.
Well, look, Boz has already made his pick. He's made it silently. And okay, that's it. Boz ain't gonna say that. That's his pick. Dang, you know what, Boz? I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with him. I think the Netherlands women right now are playing at a level of dominance that we haven't seen in 3x3 for a while. Maybe since France 2020, 2021, when they were winning every women's series. I mean, they are so in sync. Norta Driesen is picking up MVP after MVP. One of the best defensive teams in women's 3x3 that I've seen. They are tough. They get a body on you. And they do the little, they do the little things. They box out, they rebound, they make smart passes. They're in a groove right now. I'm going to have to say Netherlands too. Yeah, Netherlands win gold.
Right. Okay. Well, let's shift our attention to the men's. Let me go first, and I won't grab the jersey again, even though there's hope. There's always hope. Look, no, I think the Dutch, they could. But I think the way Serbia has been performing in the last month is just, it's undeniably the best team in the world right now. They have picked up, and this is again on the pro circuit, they have picked up 2 Masters wins and a Challenger win. They have looked untouchable for large parts of those tournaments. Maybe the last tournament, not so much in the pool, but day 2, yes, this is a tournament that they live for. We all know how many World Cup wins they have, which is now 6.
Yeah. Yep.
So there's so much experience on the squad. I can't bet against them.
Okay.
Anybody has a different pick? That's probably a good question.
I was going to say, yeah.
I have a different pick. I do.
All right.
All
right.
I do. Do you want to go first? Big dog, you made the Rook go first.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead. You go ahead. Yeah.
Hey, now this I'm going to stand on business. I'm going to stand on business on this one, okay?
I know what's coming.
Serbia, you know what's coming?
I know what's coming.
Okay. Give me one letter of the country I'm going to do. One letter.
N.
No. Serbia's going to get silver. I have confidence in this year's USA team. I have confidence in this year's USA team. If Parrot, if Han, if Mr. Dylan Travis, hey, and after that, they can add whoever they want, but I knew who they got. They got the Caruso. I got confidence that they are going to do what Jimmy Fredette almost did with the rim out and finish it out. They're coming home with the gold this year. This I'm going to stand on bit for USA. Screw the home stuff.
Okay.
Screw the doubt. USA. USA.
We are all in agreement on who will be playing in the gold medal game. Serbia and USA. So far, 1 for Serbia, Boz, 1 for USA, Vince. The tiebreaker is up to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes.
It will be a team that wears the colors blue, white, and red.
It's not helping us out.
I would love to pick the USA.
Okay.
But right now, at this point in the season, for me, they're too Jekyll and Hyde for me to pick them to win gold. Serbia is surging right now. I think they're going to win gold. I think that it's going to be a hell of a game, maybe another classic. I think that USA are going to play great, maybe even better than we've ever seen before. But just something tells me that Serbia is starting to hit their stride right now, man. And I started to pick USA, but I'm going to say Serbia win it this time. Not this time. Again, for the 7th time.
I got faith in Coach Joe. I think they really got the lab. I think they're hitting the lab right now. And Boz, correct me if I'm wrong. Remember, as you said, and we saw it, Str33ts had another amazing game when it came to the tours. I know we're not trying to confuse the Masters. It was Dejan Majstrovic that stepped up. Now, do you think they could do it? Now, they're still a little recovering right now. It's 6 days away. You think one of those can repeat it again? And that's why I think USA got this. I don't think they got enough gas in that tank right now. I really don't think so. I think the legs are a lot stronger in USA.
I think in most recent tournaments, USA has shown a lot more vulnerability than Serbia has. And I agree. It takes spectacular performances from Serbia, but I think they got a better spread in contributions in the last tournament that I saw them play. I think the USA has shown an inability to shift their offense away from what they're used to doing when it's needed. I think last tournament they played, ball screens were working and they just wouldn't run them. I just don't get that.
Right.
And you need to adjust at the World Cup level. You need to adjust to certain teams you don't often see. You need to adjust to circumstances, and especially the way they play with kind of that heavy flow based offense with waves of momentum. You need your wind. And playing at a mile high is going to be different for them.
I think. So, yeah, I agree with you, Boz. I think there are too many variables. There's just too many variables for the USA team to have success. And Serbia have less holes. Their system is more consistent. It's more dependent. Boz, you gave a look. I'll give you a chance to go ahead and make your point. No, but I think Serbia have.
Boz.
They have. Oh, God. Let's. Okay.
He did catch you on
That's
that.
what that is. That is.
You sit down very quickly. Woo!
Less holes in their system. These guys. All right, fine. You know what? Y'all just completely ruined my point. Because with your childishness.
You can't get it up, man. You can't get it up. Get your point up.
Whoa.
All right. See, this is going off the rails.
Time out.
I made my point. My pick is my pick, and I'll leave it there.
All right, cool. So let's do this then. Let's try to see if we can take a couple minutes here to construct our what we think could be top 5 teams, right? Okay. So I think on the women's end, we have, Vince had a weird pick, but Kyle and me had the Netherlands up top. Who joined them, right? Germany, if Greinacher's playing, I'd say.
Yeah, that's what I said. Germany.
Yeah,
I think
Sonny G's playing.
Canada will be top 5.
And will you say Australia too?
Yes. USA?
USA.
I'm not sure about USA. Look again. They have a lot of talent, but they are very young.
Oh, Australia.
As I said Australia.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'd take Australia over to USA at this point, just because they're unproven, right?
Yeah.
Again, look, they have the talent to compete, that's for sure, but they're unproven.
Yeah.
Spain.
Spain too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Spain's got to
So
be
we got
there.
one. We got one in the final spots. Then France, right?
Yeah, I don't believe in France though.
Not that's a squad. Ortiz can control that team. Or chance.
It's really Mane. Mane is the spoon that stirs the drink for them. Mane is she's a bad woman.
I think they're bringing Camille Droguet, and she is a defensive force.
She's all right.
I like her. I like her game a lot. But we'll see. So we're saying Netherlands, France, Spain, Germany, Canada is top 5 then.
We can
and
all,
Australia.
we can all
so
agree
we
on
got
that.
a top 6.
Yeah.
We can agree on that.
All right. So men's, this is more difficult.
Now, okay. Okay, Serbia, USA.
Okay. Yeah.
What I also
France.
Oh, you want to put France top 5? Okay, and then Netherlands.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Now here's where it gets dicey.
Latvia.
Because but
No, I'm sorry.
no.
Lithuania. Lithuania.
But Austria can still have a shot to be top 5, and Germany too. Those 2 squads as well. That's that.
I'd leave Germany off that list.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Germany off the list. But the other
Australia possibly.
Ooh.
And what about Puerto Rico?
No.
those are dark horses.
I put them all in the same group.
So to me, it's Lithuania, Netherlands, USA, Serbia, and then it's between France and Austria.
Ooh, yeah, I agree. See, with Austria, Marati's injured. I don't know if y'all knew that or not. There's a chance that he may not play, and Diggs is not really up to speed yet. If they bring Diggs,
No, he's not.
If they bring Diggs, they're a worse team right now. For that, I would say France. I'd give France just a slight advantage because I like Wilson on the roster.
And that means we're leaving Latvia off the top 5.
Yeah, because look at Latvia's squad right now. Ramo, Lasses, was it Gluditis? How you say his name?
Gluditis and Gluditis is what's listed now.
Yeah.
Gluditis is a monster. That guy can go.
Miezis and Lasmanis is going to play. If Lasmanis' Achilles is good.
Oh no, do we still know? We have any idea if he's how's he doing?
I haven't checked on him, but he hurt his Achilles in the last match.
Marseille.
In Marseille. But he told me that just as a precaution, and Miezis was there coaching, and he was saying that they're focusing all their attention on camp for the World Cup. So
okay, all right. So then we got a top 6 on both ends. Latvia in front of men. So as well.
Yeah. All right, gents. Let's get into the next segment. This segment we're going to talk about a superstar who needs a legacy moment, a rising baller ready to break out, an underrated glue guy or glue gal, and our pre-tournament MVP picks. So this one should be fun. We'll start with the ladies first again, and we'll start with superstar who needs a legacy moment. And this one, I'll start us off, might shock y'all. I think, pound for pound, arguably the most talented women's 3x3 player in the league. Won MVP of the Women's Series final last year, representing Team France, Mari Mane. Mane. Mari Mane. For me, she needs something to cement herself amongst the best players in the game. She's been on and off rosters. She disappeared for quite some time. She was never a part of the collective of the most successful French teams that we've seen in history. That's been Laetitia Guapo. But I think talent-wise, she's probably the most talented French women's player I have ever seen. ISO game, unstoppable, but she doesn't have that moment. She doesn't have that signature win. What better place, what better stage than the World Cup for her to achieve that? It's a team game, right? But individually, she needs that moment to cement herself amongst the best in the game.
I like that pick. I like that pick a lot.
Yeah.
Vince, you want to go next?
Good. I want this person That is another Tower of the North. She is a queen of defense, Limba, and we'll get her name right, Sasha Grant Allen. She did great in the Champions Cup, but I think she needs that on the world stage against a lot more competition with that crowd. Let's see if she can body everyone down low, catch those rebounds. And me and Boz talk about it. Her versatility is bar none. To be that tall and be able to go left and right and guard outside the arc and inside the arc is absolutely impressive. But we need her at the utmost top, especially with not a lot of backup on that Canadian team. I'm going to say Sasha.
All right, I got one for y'all. I like that pick, by the way, Vince. That's a good pick. I think this lady's been talked about as a superstar. I'm not always sure she's that, but I think because we talk about her like that and because she's been a part of 3x3 for so long, I think it's time she picked up and has another maybe legacy moment. I'm not sure. I think she already has a few. But Claudia Pop to me needs something right now.
Yes.
She was done last year.
Great pick.
She was done last year. She came back, and now I think if she does well this tournament, that is going to cement her name in that upper echelon of 3x3 players of all time. Yeah. So I think if she does well here, that's a legacy moment that she really needs.
Oh, that's I'm a big Pop fan. Yeah, you thank Boz. You got out your bag on that one.
Try, man. Try.
All right, let's
move on.
Rising baller, somebody that's trending upwards.
Oh no, we got the superstar for the men.
Oh, you're right.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, cool.
Okay.
All right. Can I start this one?
Yeah, okay.
Can I start this one? Because it's a very there's two easy names for me here, and I'll pick one, and I'll let you guys pick the other. Just saying. Look, one superstar that I think needs a legacy moment, a real legacy moment, not a bronze, not a silver, but a gold, is Aurelius Pukelis. The man is unstoppable. The Lithuanian is such a talent in the game of 3x3. He can shoot the two. He's unstoppable underneath the basket. He just has not won any premier event.
Yeah.
They've won World Tour Masters on the pro circuit. I'll get that. They've won some medals. Olympics, of course, the bronze medal, Europe Cup, a bronze medal as well. I need them to get a gold. And I need Aurelius Pukelis to be a big part of that.
Okay.
Because that, again, so he's always, if you talk about the best players in 3x3, if you make a top 5, he's always like 4th or 5th. I think if he wins a medal here, you can bring him into that number 1, number 2 discussion.
I'd say he's top 3. And before
top 3, but he would be 3rd then.
And before you give your bonus pick, Boz, and steal our thunder, can we give our can we ask you permission?
I'm saying
go, Kyle.
Go ahead. I said you guys can pick the other one.
I'm gonna change mine now. There you go.
All right. I'll tell you the superstar that needs a legacy moment. The number 1 ranked player in the world earlier this season, Frank Segala. Frank Segala. We've seen him continue to climb the charts in terms of the world rankings. He's an Olympic silver medalist. Since he's been playing 3x3, he's become a part of the discussion among the best players in the game. I put him top 6, top 7. France has also been, one of those upper echelon teams. But again, he doesn't have that signature moment. Not on the Pro Tour, not in any of the national competitions. He never won a gold at the World Cup. He's never won a gold at the Europe Cup. Frank Segala. Frankie, this is your time. This is your moment to take that step. You want to be considered a true number 1? This is the stage to do it. He's my pick for the superstar that needs that signature moment to submit himself atop the list.
Okay.
Let me tell you who my second name was.
Oh, see?
No. Let me get mine first.
Let Vince get.
It was Segala. It was Segala.
Well, I had to think about this because I have a second pick. But there is one person that I think I need to give more credit because he's still on this squad. Even after all the Olympics, he's still here. You know when he's a superstar moment? Who? Mr. Dylan Travis. Travis. needs a superstar moment right now. This guy falls short. He's been on the squad with some great players from USA, with the Ferdad and the Maddox and all them. No, he's right now still in the USA 3x3 camp. He is the captain on that squad. He needs that time to really shine from 3-ball USA Omaha all the way now to the Olympic stage. He is officially an Olympian, I think twice. So,
is he the best player on his team?
I was going to say, is he considered a superstar?
To me, the way he controls that team and how he's been on that team and how he's been fighting for 3x3 in USA, I consider him a superstar here on the soil here of USA. He's a superstar.
I'll take that.
I respect
but my
the pick.
Second one, and I can say so because
so you get 2 picks.
You got 2 picks.
Boss, you went.
I left my second pick to Kyle.
You didn't know. Oh my God.
That's cap. That's cap.
That was the most Duchess thing you ever did. That was.
I could show you my notes. I got 2 names, Sigela and Pukelis, but it's all good.
Okay. Well, I'm still
great.
Listen,
boss. Great minds think alike. We on the same page.
Yeah, there you go. But Vince, you get a second pick. Go ahead.
Look, I just want to say a little more mofongo. I just need Antonio Relat as well.
All right.
Antonio Relat. Let's get a buzzer beater. Let's get a cross. Get some ankle breakers, but somewhat get that medal. But I got Dylan and Antonio. So yep.
Y'all both missed the boat. I gave y'all a chance to make outstanding second picks. I gave Boz that second pick, but the other one, who was very close to Frank Sigela, would have been Dennis the Menace, Dennis Donker.
Is he going to have
a signature? Well,
right.
We've constantly talked about him in that top 5 conversation in the league.
You're right.
Right? Just imagine if Dennis really got in his bag and shocked us all, because none of us picked Belgium to do really anything in this tournament. What if they rally around Dennis, he finally gets it clicking, and they win a gold medal? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine what
that would get his name in that? Yeah.
What would that do for his fame? Okay, so that's my second pick.
So Mount Rushmore, he wouldn't be on the top, but he'll be toward the bottom. He would have like a little edge. His name will at least be there on the plate, like right there. If he can do that, the plate that says Dennis Donker.
Right now he's not
all right.
there.
Cool.
Okay, well we go with
no, he's not.
Now we're gonna go with rising baller, ready to break out. We'll start on the women's side, and Boz, you can go first.
Okay. And again, and we've mentioned this plenty. This is with currently the rosters that are online. I'm looking at Fuyoko Takahashi.
Ooh.
Takahashi, to me, plays like a superstar. I don't think a lot of people know about her game. She can go off and average 10-plus points a game. And I think she's still somewhat under rise in this game at 3x3. So I think Takahashi is a rising baller on this Japan squad. She'll be featured heavily, and if she delivers from beyond the arc, which is what she's very capable of, I think she's going to be a player to watch out for in this tournament.
All right, Vince. Go ahead, second. Vince.
Katerina Galikova, Tatling gun. Okay, is a walking bucket, averaging almost 9 points when it comes to Torbjorn. We'll put those stats up. 60% 2s and 3s. How many people can shoot that good from the floor and helped?
Vince.
What?
Well, Vince, there are no 3s. There are no 3s and 3s.
Sorry. I'm sorry. You're right. 1s and 2s. 1s and 2s. But the thing is that help get to the finals when it came to Marseille. But she is someone you got to watch when it comes to 3x3. That's what I got. So I saw the 3x3 here.
All right. Okay. All right. My rising baller, ready to break out, is a player both of y'all are familiar with. Boz, you made a hell of a call at the U23 World Cup, and this player hit a game winner. I think you know who I might be talking about. Who plays for
name written down.
Poule? See? There you go, trying to steal my thunder again. See? Alexandra Ziemborska. I don't know if she's underrated, but I also don't think that she's fully played up to her potential. This is a player that is a great shooter, tough defender, hard-nosed player just in general. Doesn't stop until the final horn, a leader on that team, arguably the most talented player on that Poland team. She's been rising. She's ready to break out. This is the stage to do it. For me, it was between her and Marvelous Mavius of Germany. I know she played great at the Olympic Games. She's rising. But I think this stage is perfectly set for her, and that's with or without Sunny G, especially if they don't have Sunny G on that roster. Mavius, you couldn't have a more perfect scenario, because now they're handing the keys over to her. I think she's 22, 23 years old. She's really young. She's dynamic with the ball. She's got a wealth of experience even at a young age. So I know I kind of doubled up there, and I picked two, but Szymborska will be my pick, but I'm going to throw Mavius' name in there too.
All right,
that's good.
Let's shift to the men's end. You can keep it going, Kyle. Who
All
you got
right,
as a rising baller that's going to break out?
A rising baller in the men's competition ready to break out. Megatron. Are y'all kidding me? Ashley Hamilton. Great Britain, stand up. This dude came out of nowhere. We've seen how he's been playing on the world tour. We know about his physical attributes. Boz talked about his touch earlier. He's got a great combination of that brute strength and that touch. He's a good guy. I don't know if either of you have had a chance to just chat with him. So he's a super likable guy. Has had some success in his 5-on-5 career, and what I like most is he's really invested in 3x3 and the growth of the game. And he's already getting respect. People are already whispering about him around the league. So he's rising very quickly. And this is a big stage for him. This will be the biggest stage that he's played on in 3x3. So for me, it's got to be Bash Hamilton, Megatron, Great Britain.
Hey, I got to do a nice little pun. He's been rising to the occasion, and shout out to Martin doing Rise 3x3 overseas in London.
Facts.
That's how literally these ballers are coming out. So right there, great pick. I've been talking about this man since I saw him in the America Cup. We see him on Barcelona. Mr. Explosive himself. Exposito. Mr. Graham Exposito. Spanish ballers know how to get things done, but the way he's been transiting, getting better since 2019. He's been playing 3x3 to 2019, and what I've been seeing these past couple of games, and I'm really excited if he's going to have that same strength and that grit and that movement on the World Cup stage. He is a man that's rising to the occasion and could take Spain to the next level.
He's a great two-way player. His length defensively is disruptive. It's hard to stay in front of him. He's slinky, long, lanky. I like him. I probably would have picked Neil Bria off that team, but I like that pick, Vince. That's a good one.
Thank you.
All right, I got both of y'all.
Oh,
I don't think you guys consider these guys rising ballers, but I'm still going to make a case for them.
Okay.
And I'll pick two this time.
All right.
I think we can all agree that this Team USA doesn't have one defining superstar in it like they had with Jimmer Fredette, right?
Okay.
We can also say that they have not had Mitch Hahn perform much on the national team.
Okay.
Outside of the America.
Okay.
So to the audience that comes into a World Cup viewing, not the people that watch a lot of 3x3, but the people that are new to the game that come and enjoy this, they'll see Big Cindy walk into the stadium and think, who's this guy?
Yeah.
And he will start yamming on people. He will start hitting twos in their face. He will come out and break some people off. So I think Mitch Hahn. But I'll even take the combination with James Parrott, because either one of those guys has to be very good.
I think about James. Okay.
Yeah, look, but like that's what I'm saying. Like neither one of those guys have reached true superstardom to me. They're close though, and look, I think a tournament like this could propel them to the next level. So I'll make a case for them being a rising baller, and I like James Parrott and Mitch Hahn for that spot.
I'll give you that. Okay.
I like it. You can't, but you hedged your bets there. Come on, Boz. You got to pick one. You got to pick one, man.
You just pick two on each one of these. You pick two on each.
All right, fine. But I love that pick because I think I would have picked James Parrott, man. I think in terms of, like, he's a walking highlight, man. And he's improved his shot, too. It's just, like Boz said, it's like a revolving door of who wants to be the star on that team. Yeah. Somebody's got to step up and do it. And if they do, then they're going to take that next step, in the individual power rankings, so to speak. All right, let's get it back over to the ladies, and we're going to go with the underrated glue gal. Who you got, Vince?
Can we define glue gal or role player here as like not the star on the team, like so it could be a second fiddle, it could be somebody who doesn't score a lot, or it could be somebody that scores a decent amount but just is not known as the star on the squad, right? That's what we're going for here.
And
sure.
Okay. This woman, queen, the one only red hair. She's not a red witch. She's a red sorceress. Casey Bosch. No matter what Canada needs, this woman, she's done it in women's series, has done it in Olympics when we were at NBC, Kyle. She will give her blood, sweat, and tears for the game. She can score 0 points and make a huge difference with her defense, her passing, and tenacity. Casey Bosch, you will always be that glue girl on that Canadian team. And with all of women 3x3, you deserve a medal just for the way you play.
Oh, look at that. That was, you deserve some applause for that. You just, look, Vince just got a new fan. Casey Bosch is all on your bandwagon now. All right, maybe I'll get a new fan with this with myself. My underrated glue gal, who doesn't get enough credit, I think, in Australia's success and all those gold medals at the Asia Cup, because it's easy to be overshadowed by Marina Whittle and Alex Wilson. They both have traded MVPs. They're both unstoppable offensive players. They both, have averaged close to 10 points a game. But Annalise Maley is that player who's got experience in the WNBL and the W, right? Whose resume is stacked, but the things that she does isn't so sexy, right? She's not going to score 6-7 points, but she's going to get 7 or 8 rebounds. She's going to block 2 or 3 shots. She's going to lock up the best offensive player on the other side of the ball. And she's been a huge part of their success and hasn't really gotten her flowers. They're going to need her for sure if they're going to medal at this year's event. And I got my eyes fixated on her for the little things, the 50-50 balls, getting on the floor, the motivation, the positive attitude. To me, she encompasses the definition of that role player, that glue gal that every team needs. I think their coach would echo my sentiments about Annalise Maley, and I think she's going to be huge for the Kangaroos at the World Cup. So there's my glue gal.
Good pick. I got a lady that fits the bill just like that, because when we talk about Spain, we always talk about Sandra Igravide, we talk about Vega Jimeno. We never, outside of one moment, which was a huge shot obviously, we never talk about Gracia Alonso de Armiño.
Facts.
And she is incredible, man. Her teammates just keep kind of echoing the fact that she always plays on feel alone. In some games, that means you won't see her at all. And in some games, she will come up with, again, a shot to get you to the Olympics flipped backwards over her head, which magically went in somehow. But it's not that. It's the little things, right? She'll get you a bucket right when you need it most. She'll get a stop. She's tough. She plays hard-nosed defense. She gets some rebounds, and she's always going at 150%. So I think she deserves the spotlight in this segment here.
All right.
I do want to get an honorable mention out. Mention out. And this is because to me, she's just underrated in general. And because she's playing at home. When we talk about Mongolia, we always talk about Ulaanbaatar, right? And rightfully so. She is extremely good. That team has been a two-headed monster, though, for the last few years. And people have not realized this yet. But Aryan Tsetsek Badardin has averaged the same amount of points as Kulan, has shot the two at a high clip, is good defensively, hustles really hard, and she has been one of the reasons why this squad has become so good. Not just Kulan, it's also her. And I'm not saying she fits the role player because she averages 7 points a game on the pro circuit, but I wanted to get her name out there because I think she plays really good.
Yeah. Her role is scoring, so maybe she is actually a role player. All right.
All right.
So now we can go.
Time to roll the dice, gentlemen.
Well, we got to go to our underrated glue guy in the men's competition.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Right.
Right? And I'll get us started. And I really could pick two guys from this team. I could pick two of them.
Okay.
And both of them are glue guys and role players. But one, in my opinion, has underperformed. And this guy is even a future Hall of Famer. And his name is Branquilla.
Ooh.
Oh.
Marko Brankovic. He has always been maybe the most underrepresented, underrated player on the UB franchise / Serbian national team, right? He's a European champion, is a world champion 2 times over. But he does the little things, right? He's the screener, right? He gets shots in the offense when nobody else has a shot. He doesn't get a lot. You can say the same about Nemanja Barac as well.
Yes.
Barac has been consistent, right? So I wouldn't say that he's an underrated glue guy, right? But I think that Brankovic is a very underrated glue guy. And the things that he does, the intangibles that he brings to that Serbian team are imperative to their success. He's the X factor for me, whether or not they win gold or not. They've got to get more from Marko Brankovic if they're going to win gold, because he's a critical part of their offense. He's one of the best passers in 3x3, but they need him to shoot the ball better. I think he needs to be a little bit more aggressive offensively, and he'll make all the difference for them. So I'm keeping my eyes on Branquilla, on that Serbian team, as an indicator of whether or not they're going to win gold or not.
Huh?
I like that.
Right.
That's a very good pick. Now I have to change mine. not to take credit for your stuff here, but I have to figure out a new name. No, but let's. I don't know if this guy's considered underrated as a glue guy, but I think what makes him underrated is that he's somehow surpassed glue guy and has gotten to an echelon of, I'm not sure what's above glue guy, but somewhat above that, after coming back from a devastating injury recently. And it's Matthias Ulaanbaatar.
Wow.
The math man.
Wow.
That's a good one.
The guy he's become the mold of what you want your glue guy to be, yet he sometimes averages 8 points a game. I'm not sure how he does it, especially because he tore his Achilles last year, has come back, and an Achilles injury is something usually that takes 2 years to recover from. 1 year physically, 1 year mentally, and he has stepped back out on the 3x3 courts, and he's improved. Even though he's had a devastating injury, he's gotten better, which is ridiculous. So I'm not saying he's underrated. He is the best glue guy in the game to me, or one of the best glue guys in the game to me. Meanwhile, kind of sort of a superstar glue guy, I'm not even sure what to call him anymore, but Matthias Ulaanbaatar deserves all the credits. That's all I'm saying.
Good one. Yeah.
It's funny. That's a good one. And I had one, but I feel bad that this guy should not have been the first person in my frontal lobe. This dude has been the most dominant offensive rebounder in 3x3, being an addition to this squad. Henry Caruso. Caruso.
I thought you were going to say Modestas Kumpis.
No.
I thought about that too, but he's not on the roster for now.
He's not on the roster.
Okay.
But that's a good. Kumpis definitely. Henry Caruso not only sacrifices his body if he has to keep a defender in front of him. He goes for the block and strategic, but he crashes every single shot. And if even he puts it back, he will bring it down and find the open man to get a better shot. Henry Caruso is that glue guy. He's gorilla glue, okay? This man's almost cement. He doesn't need to shoot every shot. But then when he does step up and become that offensive prowess on the USA team, they're nasty. They're deadly. But Henry Caruso.
Can we borrow your nickname and give it to Henry? Because he is the energy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
I can give that.
He does.
He
does bring the energy.
Would you say he's the energy?
The energy. The head. Yes.
Yo.
The energy, baby.
That's gonna debut at the World Cup, next week.
There we go.
Get ready, boss.
Yo.
Yes.
The energy is real.
Yeah. The Caruso is already taken anyway, so The energy. Yes, indeed. Indeed. Okay, you ready for MVPs?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let me get mine out before Boz steals it.
Okay. Oh, because you guys know
he always does. Well, Boz is gonna. I know he wants to steal it. MVP. We already made our picks for who we think is going to win gold, so I guess naturally the MVP has to be on that roster.
Yes.
And I hate to be anticlimactic, but guys, it's MVP Dre. It's MVP Dre. Noortje Driesen. I picked the Netherlands to win gold. Yeah. She's the best player in the league right now, ranked number 1. I know it's a layup, but check. It's MVP Dre. I'll make it
right
simple.
there with you. No other words to that. Yep. I'm right there.
I can't argue because I always said if Sonia Graneker was going to be in a spot, she would get MVP, but it's not finalized, so I have to bow out of this one. So yeah,
no cool. Pick. All right. Over to the
you want to hear my pick for the men's?
Go ahead, give me.
Oh yeah. Well, who?
Don't you be taking my Don't you be taking my
You know what's funny?
The Maestro.
You know what's funny? That was gonna be my pick too.
There you go. You go ahead.
No, I was just trying to think. When was the last MVP that Majstorovic won at the World Cup?
Has he won one
at the World Cup?
Yeah, I'm not certain.
2023.
That's gotta be back.
I'm not certain that
28. Was it 2018?
No, 18. 18 would have been Bullet.
Would have been.
Or Stojacic.
It would have been Bullet. Yeah, it's Bullet.
We have to look at that. But anyway, man, it's criminal if he's never won an MVP at the World Cup.
I don't.
If he hasn't, that is criminal. But
yeah, because Strahinja was the.
Yeah, Strahinja's been grabbing MVPs at the World Cup, but
yeah,
dude. The last
I don't know
three.
if Maestro ever got one. To be honest,
he's never got one. No.
Wow. Okay.
No, yeah, Katrina was the last one. Yep.
Damn, that was the easiest MVP pick conversation we've ever had. It was a watch.
Yep.
It was a watch for Driesen and a watch for the Maestro.
Well, but I'm different.
It's except because you picked Germany, but it's justifiable. Maestro's hot. He's hot as hell right now. He's focused. He's 37 and getting better like a fine wine with time.
Wait a minute. No.
What?
This is word on the street. This is real. When I was in Amsterdam and I said that, where you guys going? I said, what are you looking at? I said this was gonna be Maestro's year. I said, you can look all you want. I said, and both of y'all looked at me saying, "Hey, Rook, why don't you shut up? Why don't you take your green hard butt, go over there in the back of the seat? Why don't you get the coffee? Go get the open sandwiches." That's what you said. Both of y'all looked at me like I was crazy, and now he on your good side. Hey, don't be a bandwagon. I've been seeing that from the beginning. I got the future.
Credits to you, Vince.
Credit to you, Vince. But you called him MVP for the whole season. We're talking about the World Cup here, okay?
Hey, can't that lead to the season?
Oh, okay. All right. You know what? We'll accept it. You did. Right. You was rocking with Majstorovic. Okay. All right.
But cool. I will say mine because I do have USA winning, and I think it's gonna be a breakout game. And shout out to you, Boz. It's gonna be a little sprinkle of Big Cinny. Little sprinkle of that big cinnamon right there.
Mitchon MVP.
You don't know if it's sweet. You don't know if it's spicy.
Why did you put your deep voice on for that?
Big Cinny, baby. Big Cinny he got his own country radio show. This Big Cinny right now. We're gonna give you everything from the up, down, left, right, ones and twos. Let's see you, fool. That's Big Cinny right there. Big Cinny gonna step up. Man can shoot, man can drive, man can lasso anybody until the ride. He gonna get that stuff. Go Big Cinny. Mitchon.
All right.
No argument.
I
have no argument.
That was quite the breakdown. All right.
Yes, it was.
On that note, on to the next segment.
Yeah. So I got a few questions for y'all lined up just to kind of get some of these storylines out. Just a quick hitter here, but going into the tournament, and let's start with the ladies and then go to the men's. Going into the tournament, who do you guys think is under the most pressure?
The interesting about that, and I wrote it down in my notes, is that all these squads look very new to this kind of stage. So it's a pressure all around, but I'm not trying to hedge my bets. I think the biggest pressure is going to be for France. France has been on the podium, again, how many years back to back to back to back? Do you think they can do it again and really get a gold finally? I mean, they got one, but they got a lot of silvers and bronzes. I think France has the most pressure to finally bring it home and be the best at the World Cup.
I would say in the women's competition, the team that has the most pressure is always going to be the United States. They always have the highest expectations in the sport, no matter how much experience they have, because they found ways to win gold medals. They're the defending gold medal champs from the 2023 edition. And even with a team that lacks some experience, right? The names don't jump off the page at you like we've had in previous years with some WNBA stars playing on the squad. We've Haley Van Lith and these big names before. But the expectations still persist. They are the USA. They'll have the biggest bullseye on their back. If they lose, they're going to hear it from the American 3x3 fans. It's going to be a letdown one way or the other. Even if they took a bronze, would be considered a letdown for the USA women's team. So, to me, they by far, they got the most pressure.
Let me get my take in here. I understand where you guys are coming from, and I agree with some of what you're saying. But if you go down the list, the Netherlands kind of new to being at the top of the ranks. So I don't know if there's pressure. There's some. Spain, a veteran squad that won the Europe Cup last year and performed well. I don't think there's much pressure there. China maybe as being number one ranked coming in, but the newly constructed squad, maybe not. The team that's going to be under the most pressure here is going to be the home team.
Oh, you're right.
Because they have performed this year on the pro circuit. They've picked up 2 semifinals runs. They've gotten third places in 2 women's series stops. The country, of course, expects a lot out of them after winning that medal at the Asia Cup last year as well. And they now have a tournament at home. So I think they are under the most pressure.
Okay. All right.
Makes sense.
So men's team that is under the most pressure. Vince, who you got up in there in the crystal ball?
The thing about it is Serbia light pressure, but I think it's still Belgium. Belgium has the most pressure because they just can't do anything. And now this is not a world tour. This isn't a challenger. This isn't a quest. This is the World Cup. You have been on the top how many years, and now you just slowly, your stock has just been decreasing by double-digit percentage every month. You gotta step up. You have to prove you have the squad that deserves to be there. Because you know how many countries want to go to the World Cup? And you're coming in, at what? 9th. So you're top 10. You got some pressure, buddy. Let's see what you can do. Wow.
That was all of our picks, huh? Was that it?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
Nope. I got a better one. Sorry, I don't want to win here. Look. No. So I think with winning come expectations. Mm-hmm. And if you win the Olympic gold, if you win the entire pro circuit on the men's end, there's certain expectations going into a World Cup. Yeah. And I think the Netherlands are under pressure in this World Cup to perform. Mm. And, for a long time, our country has been very good at playing the underdog. I don't think these guys are ducking smoke at all. But I do think there's expectations to this tournament, especially with the way they've been performing this year, getting to a lot of finals and semifinals in the professional circuit. So, look, again, Olympic gold medalists coming into a World Cup, you're always going to be under pressure.
Well, I would agree with that take, but we all got a chance to sit down and talk with Worthy de Jong while we were in Amsterdam, and he was staunchly against embracing pressure. As a matter of fact, he spoke against it. He wanted to relieve himself and the team of feeling the pressure to win a particular game, or his idea is to have fun and let the chips fall where they may. So I don't know if they're feeling that pressure, and I don't know if that's exactly a good thing. I think sometimes you need to feel that pressure. You need to feel that heat on the back of your neck. Maybe it ignites you. You play with a little bit more pride in those scenarios because, those games do matter. It is about the process, about enjoying it and having fun. And as long as you have 100%, being accepting of the results. So for that reason, I would disagree. I would say, for me, it's a tough pick. I would say Serbia has a lot of pressure, but then again, they've won 6 of these things. Okay, they really don't have to win another to prove anything at the World Cup stage. So for that reason, I'm going to shift my pick to the USA men, who were a Jimmer Rimmer away from winning gold at the previous edition of the World Cup. And these players that they have, we anticipate that they'll have on the roster, they're all kind of guys that were forgotten, when it comes to playing at that next high level. They got a chip on their shoulder. When you look at Dylan Travis, he's a workman. He's not the biggest dude. He's not the fastest dude. He's not the most potent scorer. He can. James Parrott, kind of thin frame, athletic, but he wasn't going to be starting in the league or going to the Euro League and playing Division 1A. Mitch Hahn could be considered the same, right? Henry Caruso, you go down the line. So they kind of got that. They kind of got that demeanor. Guys that have always been counted out. Guys that have always been kind of looked over. When you look at Miami's roster, they were newly formed last year. They've been getting looked over. So for me, the pressure's on them. They wear USA across their chest. They're Midwest guys. None of them are the sexy pick. They are the team feeling the most pressure in this World Cup.
Okay.
All right. I got another question, and this may have already been slightly answered. So you get a pick of men's and women's here. You don't have to pick for both. But is there a country in the field that really needs a podium finish?
It's always going to be USA, to me, on both sides, men and women.
Needs one that hasn't had one?
No, just in general, like that needs a podium finish here to have something happen, or just in general to solidify something or cement the status.
Yeah.
Avert disaster like Belgium.
Look, like I said, if you don't mind, Kyle, it's USA because of the flack we get from the Olympics. It's the flack of USA teams playing in the World Tour in the Women's Series. It's only saying, hey, we're the creators of basketball, basically. Even though Canada's above, street ball was always us. All right, if you go to Dykeman, if you're in Detroit, if you even on the Muscle Beach, we know street ball. How a country that doesn't have a GOP of $7, taking us out. So USA anytime has the USA on their chest when they're not Miami or Omaha, whatever. It's always gonna be, hey, y'all better be balling out because we don't know. And you said it beautifully, Kyle. We don't know about these players. Even when it was back with Kareem Maddox, okay, Mr. Huffman, who again is a legend. Craig Moore. No one knew these players. They're like, who are these guys? They pick these guys to represent us. Okay, now it's the World Cup, and it is a precursor of where we're gonna have the Olympics in the next couple of years in LA. Yeah. So USA, you gotta keep showing every year that you can get the support and that we got the talent and the ability to win. They always need something to podium, men and women.
Yeah, Serbia men also cannot afford to. I mean, I said it earlier that they've won 6. They don't have to win one, but imagine if they don't finish on the podium, knowing the standard that they hold themselves to, knowing the regard that they're looked at in 3x3, right? They are the most successful country to ever participate in 3x3. If they don't finish on the podium, which has never happened before.
That's true. Right.
I think that would be devastating.
I think the stakes are maybe slightly higher than we've set them so far.
Oh.
And I say that with no, look, FIBA announced recently that the national team, the national federation ranking system is going to be 24 months instead of 12, which means December 1st, 2025. So, 5.5 months from now, we'll start counting towards the Olympics. Yeah. A World Cup ranking usually indicates whether a federation is going to invest. Right, whether maybe your Olympic committee is going to invest, maybe sponsors are going to invest. That means certain countries here are being looked at. I know for a fact the Netherlands has this as what's called a. I can't really think of the English word right now, but they have to get to a certain. Yes, they have to get a certain result here to secure maybe parts of their funding. I'm not sure if that's still the case, but it used to be the case back when I played. You had to get out of the pool in the World Cup, for instance. So I think certain countries, and I wouldn't be, off the top of my head, I wouldn't be able to name a few here, but certain countries are in need of a podium finish, or at least in need of a good run here. And I think the main country I could think of, just because they're playing at home and they have a big crowd and they've invested heavily into 3x3 over the last few years, and the results have been okay at the Asia Cup, but missing out on the Olympics in the last cycle, both on the men's and women's side, is Mongolia. Yeah. Look, they've put a lot of effort, time, money towards this game. I think they're solidified in their funding, so I'm not saying their funding is cut if they don't do well, but I think the fans expect certain things here. So there's several angles for them to have to get to a podium finish, and this might not be as serious as I make it out to be, right? But I think for certain countries, and I'm just naming Mongolia because it's an obvious one, for certain countries it is that serious, and that's why the stakes are so high at the World Cup. Besides, obviously the bragging rights and the medals.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, I hear with that, and that's more intellect when it comes to that. Thinking about what is the next stage, what is the next step of where a country is going to be, because 3x3 is growing every single day. And World Cups makes it bigger.
You're right.
More eyes are on these tournaments than ever. So,
yeah, true.
Yeah.
I got one final question, and I need a big, bold take out of you guys to close this thing off, right? Because we've been at it for 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
All right. Any rivalries, and you can, again, pick men's or women's, any rivalries you're looking forward to watching at the World Cup? If they happen. It doesn't have to happen, but if they happen.
Serbia, USA.
I'm sorry. That's not, I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting.
All right. I'll make a bold prediction, though. The Australian men will play for a medal.
Okay. I like that. I think you're forgetting one rivalry on the women's end. Canada, France, and Poule is going to be a good one. But let's get to the bold takes. I don't mind that. Vince, you got a bold take to close us out, and then I'll get mine out.
Honestly, the bold take, to be honest, is that as much as they're young, you were talking about Australia, if Germany really hunkers down and takes everything they learned in the couple of months they're playing 3x3, they may be on the podium, just maybe a bronze. They may have a chance. Germany, with that young team, with that entire roster, because all of them are glorified rising stars, they can make some noise.
All right.
I can go with that. Look, it's go big or go home time. And my crazy take here is Brazil's woman will medal. I think Brazil's women are going to come out and they're going to surprise some people. Though people don't know about them. They play physical. They play hard-nosed 3x3 basketball. They've had good runs at World Cups before. So I think they are going to come out with a medal in this one.
Obrigado.
Not too shabby. And for those of you who don't know, World Cup action begins on June 23rd through the 29th in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. 20 men's teams, 20 women's teams, 4 groups of 5 squads, all gunning for gold over 7 days of competition. I'm telling you, it's going to be crazy. You don't want to miss it. Boz and I will be on the mic. Vince will be on the couch watching. But we're going to be having a ball.
Anyway, y'all, this has been great. This is episode 11, Word on the Streets. Replace the E's with 3's. And guess what? We'll see you at the World Cup. Peace out.